Unrealistic Instagram standards aren't that bad.
What?
Hello and welcome to Always Almost Adults podcast. I'm Trisha.
I'm Arpita. But can we go back to that statement you just made? Because I'm extremely curious to hear what you want to say.
Yeah, a controversial opinion, but so I mean what do I mean by like Instagram standards, right? Instagram standards are like beauty standards where you should be in your life, like those Instagram billionaire at 24 kind
Yeah.
of things. Health standards, how much you're doing with your life, and a lot of people are like social media is fake, don't believe it. And if you've seen those social media versus real photographs of like models where they're posing so their body looks a certain way, and when they're not posing it looks a certain way, all of that, I feel like though idealistic and unrealistic isn't necessarily a bad thing, because it gives you something to strive for, right? It gives you a lot of aspiration in you that you would want to be like that someday. So, of this phrase which says never meet your heroes because they'll never be the way you want them to be like.
Right.
So it's always your made up version of them. And what's wrong with that if it's just a random person on Instagram, right? So if there's somebody who's a billionaire at 25 and you're like, wow, I want to be like that, then you go through what they did in their life, or they hustled here and they did this and they studied for this, all of that. All of that is aspirational. It's something to look forward to look up to. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It can get unhealthy, definitely. It can be very, very taxing mentally, because you think that, oh, they've done it and I can't do it. And I think that's the sort of distinction, and that's the sort of like balance you have to get for yourself. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that being on there. Plus, there's also a bit about if some people are doing great things in their life, or some people are exercising every day, some people are eating healthy every day, or some people are just models and they want to put out their success stories, or just vlog their daily successes online. Don't think there's anything wrong with that, because also personal freedom to do that. So there shouldn't be like this shouldn't be on Instagram because this is so unrealistic and it taxes us. It can be super mentally taxing, but it doesn't mean it shouldn't be on the platform at all. And yeah, I think it's always good to be aspirational, and this is a good way to be aspirational. What do you think?
I have to give it to you. You did explain it in a very holistic manner, and I was like almost getting convinced over there. But the point isn't that they shouldn't portray that part of their lives. That is something that a normal person would strive for. It is the fact that it is portrayed as their lifestyle which becomes an issue. I mean, you are not every day will a person have the bandwidth and the resources to make a yogurt bowl that has 10 different items
Foods, yeah.
on top of it.
Yeah.
Not every day will, like, as women, our bodies change over the span of 30 days. So your abs won't be visible at all points in time. Your hair will not be perfect at all points in time. So, yes, it can be a portrayal of what you can have at certain instances. But the reason why it becomes unrealistic and it becomes something that is mentally taxing for an individual is the part where it's a lifestyle and it's something that they show they're doing on an everyday basis. Most of us are not even able to have breakfast every single day because life is hectic. I am extremely guilty of that. Don't let my mom watch that. So yeah, there are days when I sit down and I cut my all the fruits that I have, which will be like 5 different
Yeah,
fruits and
yeah.
I put it in a very nice bowl and I
Yeah.
take nice pictures of it and it makes me feel amazing. But I just cannot do that every day. More often than not, I don't have the budget to do that every
And
day.
I don't have the time and I don't have the motivation to cut a papaya. Like, I'm not doing that. Yeah, no, definitely, definitely. But see, that's the point, right? You and I both know that, hey, they're not doing it every day, or maybe they're doing it for most days, maybe they're not even doing it for most days, and or maybe this is just one day they're doing it and it's on their Instagram. But that shouldn't be a reason for us to not even do it for a single day.
So I totally agree with that, 100%. But what did it take for you and I to know this now? How much exposure did we require? How much have we been on Instagram? How much have we seen both aspects of Instagram? There are so many people now who are honest about it, who talk about what their daily life looks like and what they because they're also human beings and they're also striving for that particular aspect of life. They have achieved it. The only difference between them and us would be they have achieved it in some manner. Maybe if we started an Instagram channel and Instagram account and we started doing similar things and started posting the perfect aspects of our lives, probably people would start aspiring for that as well.
See, but that's not always true, because there are hundreds and thousands of accounts doing the exact same thing, which we wouldn't know of. There are hundreds of Instagram models and Instagram fashion influencers doing a much better job than the ones who are already famous. But it's just that some things didn't work out, right?
Right.
But apart from like the entire algorithm debate and what the algo wants and what works for the algo, there's also a bit about, some people just have that thing that clicks with the audience, right? I don't know. One thing I also really like about Instagram these days, at least for my feed, and I'm sure it's there for you as well, is like finally like romanticizing struggle and hustle. Because a lot of people our age, or let's say ages 18 to 25, have been doing a lot to like change their lives and completely like
Yeah.
change their lives
Yeah.
completely. And I don't know, have you heard of this one guy who says, as a 20-year-old economics student, here are the 5 things I've done, and then he'll say like crazy things that he played cricket and he built his own startup and all those things. Isn't that why we would also want to start our own thing, like a podcast? It's
For
aspiration
sure.
that got us here.
Yeah.
And it's also, yeah, like you said, our exposure to what it was before and what it is now, which is something very interesting to discuss for us, because when we were kids, the media was influencing us in a different way, influencing us still in a different way, though, compared to now. How do you think it's been?
So I feel like as kids we don't really have the choice to make a decision as to this is what I want to consume.
Yeah, everybody watches the same Noddy and the same Shinchan. And okay, Shinchan is not your choice. That it depends on how cool your parents are with you. Watching like a child misbehaving with his mom.
I haven't watched Shinchan.
Yeah, I've watched.
growing up.
Sorry.
I used to watch things like Oswald.
I love Oswald so much.
Same.
Yeah.
So-
see, that's the difference between a Shinchan kid and an Oswald kid.
But you love it too.
Yeah, I love Oswald too.
But there are ideas, obviously, because these cartoon characters are created by certain people, and of course there will be like biases of their own that gets perpetuated into
Yeah.
whatever they're creating.
Yeah, that's the thing with art generally.
And when that is portrayed on screens that are being watched by like 2-3-year-olds, you will somehow adapt to that particular ideology. It'll be like an undercurrent, but it'll be there. Of course, the things that happen at home when you go out and make friends, go to school, those are much more important and impactful factors in your life. But especially nowadays, iPad kids,
Oh yeah.
all they do all the time is consume different forms of media. More often than not, it is unregulated by parents. The maximum a parent, especially like if the kid is an iPad kid, it means that the parent does not have a lot of time on their hand to sit and like engage the kid in different
Yeah.
manner. So the maximum they can do is put that screen like kid lock thing, whatever that is.
Yeah,
Right.
parental controls
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
So like you won't have adult content coming
Hmm.
on your screens. But what is the kind of cartoon characters that you're watching? What are you gaining from it? I have a younger uh, kid at home, and like he was born when I was 13. So I've sort of seen how he has grown up, and I've been very conscious of how he has grown up as well. And I see how much more media impacts him than me or my younger sister.
Hmm. More time spent.
So much more time spent. He has a view on Narendra Modi, and he has a view on India, Pakistan, and stuff like that.
Damn. Early bloomer.
Something that I had no clue about up until maybe when I was 14 or something.
Yeah.
My dad had to be like, go watch the news and go read the newspaper for me to be aware about what is happening around me. So, things have definitely changed.
But that's so much more harmful also, especially if this kid has, or not just this kid, like kids these days. And I don't want to be that, oh, kids these days kind of gal. But it's so much more harmful for kids to be accessing real life
Oh, yeah.
news or like I don't think up until very like recently, okay, not very recently, maybe a couple years ago, we could also tell the difference between, hey, this is like factual information and this is like news content which could be biased. I think it's a
You're saying we couldn't tell? the
yeah, we
difference,
couldn't.
right?
We
Of
couldn't.
course.
It's I think over a period of time when we started realizing that hey, maybe news is not like gospel truth and maybe like some of it is bullshit. Maybe most of it is bullshit. Maybe all of it is bullshit. Yeah, that
Yeah.
realization at least came to us, and I don't think that sort of. And we were older. We were much older, probably late teens or probably like yeah. But that sort of sense does not prevail in kids.
It takes
I
a lot
think.
of exposure and a lot of conversation which a kid will not be having.
Yeah.
That kid is probably going and consuming a form of media because his other friends are consuming that form of media and he wants to sound intelligent in front of them.
Yeah.
And the reason that we did not, of course, we didn't have all these resources in front of us, but the reason we grew up with the belief that, oh, news is the gospel truth is because that's how our parents were raised. That was their source of information. Now, so that is, I think, one of the good aspects of social media.
Yeah.
Is that you have a lot of different opinions which can give you an insight into the fact that not everything that is being said is true.
Yeah.
If obviously you have the critical thinking to understand.
Yeah, I think that for our parents that this news is the truth mindset probably came from the fact that there used to be fewer news channels before, especially like DD News. If they would, that's probably all they had, and DD
Yeah.
News is government news. So that's largely reliable, but now we're in an era where you can't trust like government data, you can't trust government news. But also then after DD News, you know, that monopoly that DD News had sort of broke now, and now you have hundreds and hundreds of news channels, all of them saying some other things, all of them having 10 different opinions about the same piece of information. And now it's easier for us to distinguish that, hey, yeah, they're all like doing their own thing. Best is to like listen to the facts and make up your own mind about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's probably a generational thing, which
It's also the fact that, you know, people जिनको cover किया जा रहा था by the news channels at one point of time, they have a voice of their own on social media.
yeah, like
So you can just
Donald Trump's Twitter, bro. I follow him on Twitter, on X, sorry.
But yeah, the point is that you can just directly get
In touch
knowledge
with,
about
yeah.
things right from the source. So you understand that there is a lot of data that is getting manipulated by traditional news channels.
But yeah, other than news, also I think there's other sources of media that we consume, which also are like laden with bias and perspective and perception and deception, as you call it. It could be books. It could be music. Music these days is heavily political, is what I think. Like, like African American writers will write about their struggle and how they grew up in what kind of hood. And a lot of like Indian rappers these days talk about like how they grew up in such
Yeah.
bad conditions. They talk about caste discrimination. They talk about class struggle. So music is very very political these days. Books, you're the reader, so you'd know how much the background of an author and where they're coming from affects their writing so much. Even podcasts to an extent. I think to understand a podcast, you need to be generally from the same socioeconomic background as the speakers, right? Otherwise, their references, their humor is not something you'll be able to understand.
Forget references, their life experiences also
Will be so different. Yeah, like sometimes, so I listen to Anything Goes by Emma,
Yeah.
and sometimes, like, I have no idea what she's saying, partly because she's American and partly because she's older, white. So, those things, like, sometimes you just don't understand why she's
Yeah.
getting bothered about this.
Yeah.
um,
Books have always been political. Always. Because I think that's one of the most direct form of art. It is what it is. And so, interestingly enough, my favorite genre to read has been historical fiction.
Ooh, okay.
And I have read a lot of books on the Second World War.
Okay.
And the amount of perspective you get when you read a German author, and then you read a French author, you read an American author, a Japanese author. Many a times the book is not even about history, but there are nuances to it.
Yeah.
There are,
Contexts which are like historical.
yes. And it's extremely engaging. It is so interesting, especially if you like history. And I mean, for me, books are what shaped all of me and my opinions and just like everything I think about and the manner in which I think about things. Sadly, I don't read as much anymore. I would want to get started
Yeah.
again.
We have social media to blame for that. Like, I never was a reader.
Yeah.
But there was a point when I was like an early teen, I would read like Durjoy Datta.
As an early teen, I would read John Green.
Ooh, me too. I read all of them.
Same.
I read all of them. Favorite book. We have to say it at the same time. Why?
Let me think.
Okay,
Let me think.
okay,
Let me
okay.
think.
I'll do a countdown, okay?
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go. Turtles all the way
Looking for
down.
a sky.
Oh, that's my second best. Turtles all the way down for me.
Actually, I love that book too.
Yeah.
I think it would be like at the same,
Yeah. No, I think it's a clear victory for me, but I love both the books. Even
Actually, I
Paper
think
Towns, bro. I like Paper Towns a lot.
Yeah. I have sort of also forgotten a
Which
lot of
one?
it. A lot of like
Yeah,
the
like
content.
small details even I've forgotten. I used to like.
Because I read these books in like 5th and 6th standard.
I read in 7th and 8th.
I have had a very like weird reading journey.
Yeah, you're from ICSC, understood, okay?
I've read Harry Potter in 7th grade, and I was reading John Green back in 5th grade.
Yeah.
So I was never like at that time. It was just me discovering books as and when I go, and then
Yeah.
yeah.
So I was reading Geronimo Stilton in 5th grade. Thanks for that. Yeah. Anyway, but I think like social media still takes the biggest like chunk of the cake in the perception or deception game. Um, Mostly because I think like it's super in our lives
Yeah.
to a point where okay, so would you describe your relationship with social media as unhealthy?
Yes.
Why?
Because more than half of the times I don't know what I'm watching. Like I'm just scrolling mindlessly. It's become a habit to just pick up the phone. Like I come back from college and I'm just sitting on my bed. Now that I don't have anything else left to do in life,
Yay.
I'm just sitting and scrolling. And hours go by and I have no realization. Sometimes, and especially on days when I just come back and I start scrolling and I'm not doing anything, no human interaction, yada yada, I will go into the night, I'm awake, I'm just not able to put my phone down. And I know and I have the realization that what I'm doing is wrong. Because when I'm going out and I'm meeting people and I have plans or I'm busy with something and my usage is low, then I don't need it at all. Like I
It's like you
sleep
like
early.
real life so much more.
Yeah.
But somehow you can't get rid of that online life.
I just don't understand. I just don't. And I feel like the reason that people got so involved with social media was to sort of like talk about their lives and learn about their friends' lives, but I don't think that is the point anymore. All we do is like look at creators and influencers and people that we have no idea about and see what they are doing. I don't think people are as interested in each other's lives anymore because of that.
Fully disagree.
Until and unless, really?
Really. Because, so I'd say my relationship with social media isn't universally unhealthy. It's sort of unhealthy. Now, it's unhealthy because I won't have hours of scrolling. I won't even have like
Yeah, you're not a scroller.
yeah, I'm not a scroller. I'm not even like spending hours on Instagram together kind of person. But what I don't like about my relationship with social media is that I open my phone to do something and suddenly I'm on Instagram and I have no idea why.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have no idea how I got there. And it's only like a couple minutes later when I'll realize, oh shit, this is what I was originally doing, and I'll go back.
Yeah,
If I
happens
have
with me
nothing to
too.
do, like if I'm, let's say, sitting in an auto going to the metro station, which is a fairly short ride, right? I'll be on Instagram and I'll be like, shit, that's my first thing. Like like it's like a muscle memory, like a motor thing, right? Like
I
I'll
feel
go.
like this is the early stage. Then you reach my stage. And it's so.
No. It's right for you to assume why I'd reached that stage, but I've been
No,
on
maybe
Instagram
you
for a
would.
very long time,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I never reached that
Yeah.
stage.
That's what. Maybe you wouldn't reach that stage, but that is how it happened for me. That, like, instinctively, I would just mindlessly open Instagram.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm actually really tired of the Instagram discussion because I feel like I talk about it a lot. There's a lot that I learn from it, unlearn from it. For example, it was just, because of this mindless consumption, was so I like dressing up. It gives me a lot of joy.
ये कपड़ों का शौक ना होता तो आज मैं कहाँ होती.
मेरे पास कितने पैसे सेव्ड होते, मैंने कितने ट्रिप्स ले लिए होते.
For context, we were traveling in the metro, and Arpita says, ये कपड़ों का शौक ना होता तो I would be living off a backpack.
Yeah, but I would. I'm really low maintenance otherwise. But anyways, but that, like, Instagram was fueling that. It's not Instagram's fault. It is my fault.
No, it's Instagram's fault.
Like right now it's that part of it is
See, I know
there.
we're going to talk about overconsumption. It's going to give us more things to, like, winter things to buy.
Yeah.
And then it'll give us 2-3 reels about how overconsumption is bad. Like,
Yeah.
that's how Instagram
So it'll be
is.
like I'll get random ads from Instagram stores and I would like what they're doing. I'll start following them. It'll just harmless, right? You're following a small business. Now you're seeing them again and again and again, and you see different people wearing it. You see the different things that they have on their collection, and then suddenly one of them will really grab your attention,
Strike out. Yeah.
and then I'm gonna go and buy it.
Sweet.
So it's annoying,
See, at least the marketing people are doing a good job. They got you.
at least.
We got you.
But I think for the past 1 month, I have really realized that it is something that is going out of hand. Partly because I had to move to a different city and then move back, and I had to pack up everything that I had and unpack all of it again. And I'm supposed to move again in the coming 6 to 7 months. So I want to.
Reduce the amount of stuff you have because
Yeah.
it's so inconvenient. Yes.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
I think I've also had that overconsumption bit, but maybe not on Instagram, just because generally I like stuff a lot. And you know that I have a lot of it for everything. But yeah, clothes especially, bro, I struggled with that so much when I was moving to college, and I had to pack my entire life and bring it here. And yeah, there's not one little box of space in anything I store clothes in. Clothes are a trap. Plus, we live so close to Sarojini Nagar, so it's not helping.
It's cheap, and then you can convince yourself that you're thrifting, so you're not really increasing the amount
Yeah.
of clothes in the world.
Yeah.
Actually, I think what really got to me was this video that I saw, which was talking about we have like enough clothes for, I don't know, 7, 9 generations to come. And I was like, oh my god.
That is not us. That is fast fashion. Do you know
That is
Zara changes its collection every week. So like
I
there's
don't shop from Zara.
nor do I. It's just a fact I know from my sister. That
Jara.
God forbid Arpita let something go.
This was me. I said it.
No, I said it. No,
No, I also
you
said it.
both of us said it.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, but no, also about that Sarojini bit, you know why I really appreciate like social media. One thing I really appreciate about it is that, and especially the standards, I feel like, yes, standards generally bad thing, but when the standards keep changing and the standards become a little bit more inclusive is when it gets really interesting. Like, so you'll see there are creators like Komal Pandey who are like, God knows what they're wearing and like
Yeah.
where they're buying it from.
That's the
and-
thing. I don't follow these people. I follow the people who are going to Sarojini every other
Exactly.
day.
See, same. So do I.
And I'm like,
But
oh my god,
I've
they're
been-
finding such amazing things. I
Yeah,
should go.
Exactly. But I've been on Instagram since an era. Only Komal Pandey was
Right.
the shit, okay?
Right.
And
For context, I came on Instagram after my 12th grade, so it's been like 2.5 years.
I've been there since like 2018. So, yeah. So I'm from that era, and there used to be a time when only she would be there, and they would buy like clothes from like H&M and Zara, and then God knows where they would get it, and you're like, wow, and you want to save money, and you want to get that one thing that they're wearing, but then there's so many like Sarojini influencers, thrifting influencers, all of that is coming. So I feel like the standard market is becoming a little bit more inclusive. Same thing with like colored people being represented as like models and stuff.
Right.
I don't know if you know Lara Raj, who
I know.
Yeah, so she's Indian origin. She has colored skin and she's so hot.
Yeah.
And now
She's from Sri Lanka, right?
I don't
I
know.
think so.
But I don't know if she's Indian origin. Point is, she's South Asian.
Yeah.
And yeah, now that is also a beauty standard. So, you know, we're moving past the cliche standards of like skin color and even like curly haired people. All of that, like, you know, curly hair was considered jungly and like ugly and like unmanageable. But now that you have a bit more
Yeah.
Curly hair care. People are starting to embrace curly hair. People are starting to love curly hair. I personally love curly hair too. Wish I had curly hair. I'm just in the shower trying to like scrunch up my hair and make it curly, but doesn't
I
happen.
wanted to, but then I like did like heatless curls once, and I realized it doesn't look good
Suit
on
you.
me. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, but the standards are changing. So don't think it's a bad thing because now you have like, so if you're a person of color, you have Raj to look up to. So
Definitely.
yeah.
But do you think we hold like people who are creating content on Instagram on a like we make them accountable for everything too much, and then we don't hold other media creators like movie stars as accountable?
Uh,
I mean,
elaborate.
I just feel like especially a country like India,
Hmm.
people are very impressionable.
Hmm.
तो अगर वो जा कर के कोई मूवी देख रहे हैं और उनको वो मूवी बहुत पसंद आ रही है, उनको वो कैरेक्टर बहुत पसंद आ रहा है,
Hmm.
it becomes like it's something that impacts the way they think as well
About the actors.
about life. For example, Animal.
Hmm.
Do you think we live in a country where it is safe to create a movie like Animal?
No, and it's not necessarily because I think like a movie like Animal is going to like propagate ideas like that and violence on that level, but I think that it's harmful because all of that is already dormant.
Exactly.
And when you give it an artistic platform like a film, is when people start to normalize it and think it's okay.
Which is why context that this is India is important. Like the Taj story. I think we're getting too political over here, but do you think that is a movie that we are up for? I don't even know. Like,
But then movies are like artistic and creative expressions, and we shouldn't have,
but how much
as
of
long
it?
as it doesn't like cause any sort of like public disturbance or
But
religious
but it
riots
does all the time. All movies do.
on a smaller scale, right? Like let's say I make something very like religiously fueled and one,
Padmavat did.
yeah, that I don't even understand why that movie didn't even have anything. That was stupid. But also then yeah, we can dive into the entire.
We're like just as a country, we're very religiously
We are very sensitive.
charged,
We are sensitive.
and we have a lot of gender biases.
Hmm.
And these movies play into that, thinking that okay, we are going to get more audience because of that particular reason. But what they don't understand is that it is propagating a belief that is all, as you said, it's already there. It's normalizing it.
But what about portraying reality? So, Animal, perhaps, especially the way he was treating his wife, was nothing new to India. I'm sure most of the wives get treated like that in India.
But isn't it normalizing it?
Is it, or is it portraying a reality?
Portraying a reality would be a movie like Pink or a movie like Mardani.
Also those, but what about like inside homes? You can't always have a happy family. पापा मुझे काम पे छोड़ते हैं, मम्मी घर पे खाना बनाती हैं. Those aren't like everybody's house stories. Domestic violence is real. If he's like casually slapping her and he doesn't think there's anything wrong with that, sure, normalizing, but also reality.
Yeah, but how are you portraying that reality? Are you showing it as something that is getting, you know, a lot of, what is the word I'm looking
Like
for?
support.
Yeah, and or is it something that is getting looked down upon? That is the difference.
But that how can the creator decide? That's up to the audience, no?
Not really. The different, how do the different characters in the movie? I haven't watched Animal,
Oh,
so I don't exactly know, but I have the general gist of it. But she's like the wife still defends the man.
but that's
Still
true. It's the reality. And that's not just India.
But is that a reality that we're ready to watch on big screens and see it getting कि हाँ ठीक है हो रहा है
Yeah,
ये?
so that is
That's the
like
part.
that's the censorship debate, which generally only has two like opinions on it, right? One says that art is art, everybody has freedom to make what they want. So let's say one day I want to make a movie on all the like, I don't know, like disadvantaged groups in India come to a revolution and they like break this, that, reclaim power. They will censor it because they say that this is, you are trying to encourage a certain group to do something which can cause public order problems here. So we will censor it. Some people will be like, no, art is art, art is art, we'll do this, we'll do that. The second says that censorship is necessary because, yeah, you public order, and also you are trying to influence a certain group of people, and not just a certain group of people. Maybe you are trying to influence kids in the society, you're teaching them wrong things. So maybe if you're doing drugs, you're teaching them wrong things to do. You are influencing women, you are influencing men, you are influencing older people, like conservative people. All of that does happen. But the counter to that is that just because I'm telling you, if I'm telling you, hey Arpita, I think slapping my wife is fine, are you going to start believing it?
No, but that's because I have
You're
been raised with a certain mindset.
or that you have your own discretion to decide what is right and what is wrong, right? That's what people say.
Definitely, but that discretion to decide also gets influenced by what you've seen growing up, how you've been treated
But by a
growing up.
movie, can it? So if I'm somebody who doesn't believe in beating my wife and a movie is portraying that, will it really change the way I think?
But what if I do believe that it is something that is okay and I am an impressionable 18-year-old boy? When I grow up and become a 28-year-old man and I do get married, I will think it is normal.
Definitely. It teaches all of that. But who's to say that without that movie, that boy will not do it? Like,
But this is increasing the chances.
boys might still do it.
The boy might still do it probably, but this is increasing
Or
the chances.
there's another.
And celebrating it.
Or the boy might learn that this is fucking disgusting, I hate it, and I don't want to ever do it. So I will not.
If it is,
I don't want to be like that person, so I won't do it. That's what the entire debate is about, that individuals, like humans, especially adults, have their own discretion. That's why the entire A-rated movies and like PG-13 and Universal, all those criterias exist. Because sure, you can't show drugs to, like, drug abuse to a child. They might think it's okay, and because they're in like their primitive years of like education. But if you and I see drug abuse, we're not going to start abusing drugs because we are old enough to decide. Something to think about.
something to think about. So I think that was it.
That was really it.
It was intense.
Hope you had fun. But it was good intense, right?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I don't think she had a lot
I
of
know
fun.
I had a lot of fun too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Food for thought. A lot of food for thought.
And
And
hope to see you in the next one. These conversations are what make us always almost adults. आप बोलोगे नहीं? मैं बोलूँगा लिसनर.
मुझे नहीं पता था you're going into that.
These conversations पे आते रहो कि बत्ती जल
Okay,
जाएगी.
चलो चलो फिर से बोलो.
ये भैया रखना है. ठीक है. क्या? Hope you had fun. Hope to see you for the next one, because these conversations
Almost. No, always. Almost.
नहीं, फिर से. Hope you had fun. Hope you enjoyed this one, and we are expecting to see you in the next one, because these conversations are one of the many conversations why we will always
Stop it. Okay. Thank you guys. This was Always Almost Adults. Bye.